All right, so what? It's in D minor. Basically, this song is two chords, D minor and E flat minor. It's the same song form as most of the songs we play, A, B, A, meaning the A sections are basically the same, and the B section, the bridge, is different. The only difference is it moves up a half step. All right, so I just want to start by playing the melody really slowly of this tune. Right? So that's the melody. Then it has the and that's the chord in fourths, which is the same as a minor seventh, really. And if you can't really get that because of whatever issue with your hand, just play a minor seventh. It's kind of the same chord, and we're going to get into that in a second. So I'm going to put the metronome on. And we're just going to play the melody through nice and slow, just to get really used to how cool this melody really is. One, let's go even a little slower than that if you don't mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. The second A. And now up a half a step. That's it. Last 8 bars. Great. I love that melody. It's like repetitive, but it's really cool. Now let's just take it up a little bit. I'm a big believer is the more melodies you know and the more melodies you internalize, the easier it is to improvise. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Half a step. Now that's not too far off from the original tempo. They really didn't play this song that fast. Now let's just take a quick look here. D minor 7th chord. This is from the recording Kind of Blue, Miles Davis, with the great Bill Evans at the piano. And Bill Evans is the one who introduced Miles Davis to this quote-unquote modal music. And all this modal music meant was playing a D minor chord, but playing a C scale over the D minor. And obviously the root note of the chord is D. So this is what became known as the Dorian mode, which is a C scale. Right? So what I want you to kind of experiment with right now is we're going to play the song through with the melody. And then the second chorus I'm going to comp for you. And I just want you to make musical ideas staying within the C scale or the Dorian mode. Let's also look at the key chord tones. D minor, D, F, and A, the root, the 3rd, and the 5th of D minor. So if you're going to end a phrase, you may want to think about ending it on a chord tone. Okay, the other thing I just want to point out is that Dorian mode, okay, is really just 2 extra notes added to the pentatonic. See that? Point being is blues, right? You can put some blues in there as well because it's all in that C scale. Kind of boxing you into only 7 notes, but that's kind of what this whole style that came about of this modal music was about, thanks to Bill Evans. If you think about it, Miles Davis made many records with that quintet, with Wynton Kelly at the piano, Red Garland at the piano. Bill Evans, the only time he recorded with Miles Davis was the Kind of Blue record. And in my personal and humble opinion, that's why I think that record was so special, was because of Bill Evans. Because even on the tracks with Wynton Kelly, which are fabulous, Freddie the Freeloader, some of the greatest jazz ever recorded, but not as unique as Bill Evans with So What and All Blues and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, with that said, let's play this through. And then the second chorus I'm going to comp for you. We'll keep it a nice slow tempo. And just fool around with that D minor, the 1st, 3rd, and 5th, and the C scale. Don't get too far out. One more thing I need to mention, my apologies. The key to this tune and improvising on it is not getting lost. I know it's only 2 chords and usually 1 chord, but I can't tell you how many times I've been at a jam session and that E flat minor comes in and it takes everybody by surprise. So we really have to pay attention to 8-bar phrases, not just ramble on and then all of a sudden E flat hits and it's like, oop, I got to go up a half step. We want to avoid that. We want to think ahead. When is that key change coming up? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Let's do that little shout. And then end it however you want. Bo ba ba down and down. It's good to latch on to some kind of little groovy thing and then go from there. So let's try that little riff there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you answer. Riff. Great. That's great. Let's practice the Dorian mode for a few minutes, which is a C scale from D to D. Okay, now instead of that B natural, let's play a B flat. That's a D natural minor scale. Back to Dorian. Amazing how that one note, back to natural, back to Dorian, now check this out. Throw a little chromatic scale in there. Just one extra note, the C sharp. So now let's make some ideas with that Dorian, adding the C sharp note. Okay, I'm trying to really box in here for a second to try to, over the next couple of weeks, really try to explore all of those different minor tonalities. Okay, instead of just playing the scale with the chord, that's fine, but each of those tones, we need to start internalizing those special tones, like that major sixth, as opposed to which always leads me to my favorite Charlie Christian lick. Which is D minor with the major sixth, right within what we're doing. Let's play that together. Up a half step. which always, whenever I'm doing something like that with a tune like So What, it always makes me wonder what would have happened if Charlie Christian would have lived and been able to play with some of those real beboppers like Bill Evans. I mean, it would have been an amazing collaborations that went on. Same with Django. I often wondered if Django was paired with the modern jazz quartet or Dave Brubeck quartet. What would have happened if he would have lived into that era? Anyway, let's play a little more So What. With this in mind, we'll get the tempo up a little bit more. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. You got it. Okay, now check out that minor 11 arpeggio. You hear that? It's really going up in thirds with the scale, whether it's a minor third or a major. Minor third, minor third, minor third, major. So that's a tonality that's kind of pretty cool. Okay, just another way of putting together the notes, a little more suspension in there with the 11th, and then up to the 6th with the 9th. Okay, so maybe let's concentrate on the 9th a little bit. Okay, so I'll give you a little rhythm. Go up to 120 here. 1, 2. Let's start with the melody again, okay? Just to refocus on what tune we're on here. 2, a 1. Okay, here you go. Focus on ninth. Okay, you play the chords, I'll take a little solo. Go ahead. Okay, great, great. That's fun. That's fun. Now let's look at this chord in fourths. Right? If we look at the D minor seventh, and we lift our third finger and bar, that's a chord in fourths. Another way to play a D minor 7. Now, I want you to work with this through the week, because this is a very interesting concept that you can take to any chord that you're playing. Okay, we know we're in the C scale correct. We all know we're in the C scale because we're using this D Dorian mode, which we went over as a C scale played over a D minor chord. If we know our C scale moving horizontally on each string, if we just refamiliarize ourselves with the C scale on each of the strings, and then we move each of these notes up to the next scale tone. For instance, F goes to G, C goes to D, this is in the C scale. G goes to A, D goes to E. You get all of your formations for your chord and fourths. E goes to F, A goes to B, D goes to E, and G goes to A. That's your next form. That's your next form. All of the C scale notes. Now you can do this with any inversion. Say you have this D minor 7. Check this out. So if you have a groove like this, or the minor 7th. You can make all kinds of ideas. Just as long as we stay in that Dorian mode. Right? It's very interesting, that modal style playing. I was really turned on to it by Charlie Bird, out of all people. I mean, I've listened to everything. I had 2,000 records. But when I played with Charlie Bird, who was the last person I would expect to say to me, hey, only play in the Dorian mode on this jam. And it was the end of a tune in C minor. I think it was Decifinato. Not Decifinato. That one. And then it goes. And then he would just play Dorian. And he said, don't do anything but Dorian, chord and fourths and Dorian. And I would jam, just give him chords like that, and he would be all over that Dorian scale. I'd be like, wow, that sounds unbelievable. So that's where I really got turned on to the whole style of this kind of modal thing, which is pretty cool. Because you know me, I'm about all 12 notes, and I still am, but these are 7 of them, which are really special given this vibe. And I think that's what this tune is all about. So what? So with that said, any follow-up questions, please, in the channel. Next week, we're going to go over the same tune. We're going to start in this modal thing, but then we're going to go into the different minor tonalities. And there are some tutorials in the channel on that. D harmonic minor, D melodic minor, D natural minor, the Dorian. I think there's 5 or 6 of them I like to go over, as well as the chromatic scale ending on key chord tones. Okay, so I just wanted to give a little thought to that during the week. And once again, it's fabulous. I have such a good time with these classes. I'm very, very happy that you support them. So enjoy the day. Thanks so much.